Welcome back. You're watching Startup Street. Now, NOTO Ice Creams and Dessert has announced the close of its 21 crore rupees pre-Series A funding round that was led by Equentis Angel Fund. Now, this marks NOTO's largest funding round to date and will support the company's plans to scale production, expand distribution, launch offline stores, and forge strategic partnerships. Now, company is also looking at new product lines and the launch of its own ice cream parlors. For more on these plans, joining me now is Varun Sheth, who is the co-founder and CEO of NOTO. Varun, welcome to Startup Street. Thanks very much for your time here. Before we get to that funding, what gap did you really see in the market that made you start NOTO? And take us through how the journey has been since you started this in 2019.
Thanks so much for having me here. I think the biggest opportunities that we saw why we got into this space was consumers today are definitely becoming more mindful of what they can eat, the calories they intake, the amount of sugar they consume. I think we're all very mindful of that today, right? We want to make smarter choices, better choices, and we want to eliminate certain bad habits that we have. But at the same time, we don't want to compromise on taste. Taste always comes first when it comes to eating anything, right? Otherwise, you just will never buy it the second time. So I think talking to the millennial Gen Z consumer, we realize that there's a big opportunity in ice creams where the legacy brands, the incumbent brands, no one is solving for health in a smart, sexy, fun way. That's where we felt there's an opportunity to come in. We also think data says that India has a very large population of obesity and diabetes, and consuming alternate sweeteners, consuming sugar-free substitutes is on the rise. It's necessary to control this, right? So we felt there's two cohorts of customers, a diabetic customer as well as a younger Indian who's trying to make smarter health choices.
But Varun, a whole lot of companies have that same thinking. They're coming up in this guilt-free ice cream space. How do you plan to capture a larger market? And give us a sense of what your current sales and growth has been like so far.
I mean, I think for us, we've always focused on product first. I think any food brand that you love, you will always have one or two favorite picks that you go there for. And you go back time and time again for consistency. And we believe in giving a great product with repeated consistency helps retaining customers. I think the second aspect is it's a very supply chain, distribution-led business. And over the last 5 years, we've managed to understand frozen cold chain logistics and supply chain far better. And those early inroads have, I think, helped us probably be the top 2 or 3 brands within this realm of guilt-free indulgence. I think those are some of the key factors for us probably being successful. And we closed last year at about a 40 crore revenue, and we're looking at about 100 crore over the next 2 years. Okay. Those are the revenue short-term revenue milestones for us.
All right. Okay, and now that you've got this 21 crores, it is your largest funding round to date. How will you deploy it when you talk about scaling, when you talk about distribution and new product lines? Where will you be utilizing the money?
I mean, I would say it's a good amount of capital, but not a huge amount of capital. So I think we got to be smart about realistically how many things we can do with it. For us, digital first has worked so far. And I think quick commerce over the last couple of years has enabled and democratized distribution. We're in the same freezers and in the same dark stores where Amul and Quality Walls are being sold. Being a guilt-free indulgent brand, a healthy proposition. So it's pretty amazing to see that we're in 16 cities using quick commerce. I think we need to double down on ensuring customers can try NOTO for the first and second time. That enables them to make a swap from whatever their favorite brand today is to saying, okay, I'm going to buy NOTO for my daily consumption, and then maybe my other favorite brand for my weekend cheat day consumption.
All right. And when you talk about this expansion, you're also looking at opening your own ice cream parlors. Just give us a sense as to, why you arrived at that decision. What are the kind of sales you expect from physical versus what you're doing through digital? And currently you're in these 13 cities. Do you plan to double down on these, or will you be looking at further, other newer cities to go into?
So I think primarily we double down on existing markets. We have 5 or 6 cities where we're very strong. Some of the other 13 cities, 6 or 7 of them are relatively new for us. I think sampling, product tasting leads to adoption. of and long-term behavioral change from a consumer POV. So being involved at ground level in these markets, for us, relevant places are gyms, pickleball courts, running clubs, biking. We try and engage with such communities and kind of sponsor those events. And hopefully that leads to long-term buying behavioral change and customers recognizing NOTO as a brand to go to.
All right, so you're looking to target the fitness enthusiasts across these cities, but
yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was just to answer your question on why we would probably have some of our own company branded stores. I think it's honestly being only digital. There are bottlenecks to discovery. There are roadblocks to visibility. It's typically whoever spends the most, whoever bids the highest has the maximum visibility, right? And it's an expensive proposition to only build digitally. So at some point, you do need to have 1 or 2 experience centers, company brand stores where people really know what you're doing, what you're building, and can actually experience it firsthand. And ice cream, I think, is a very social activity to some extent. You don't only you buy online for what you keep in your freezer, but you also go out with friends, family to enjoy something nice, right? So that's where the storefront comes in.
All right, Varun, on that thought, we're going to leave it at that, and we look forward to seeing your stores and wish you the best in this venture. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, on that note, we're going to wrap up this edition of Startup Street. Thanks